talk to me, please.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Games Pass podcast. As always, I'm your host, Win Liberty, and with me is
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we got Monster Hunter gameplay, Wildspire trailer. We got Crackdown 3 delayed till 2018. Dishonored 2, Who is Billy Lurk? We got an Absolver multiplayer trailer. We got Goku and Vegeta, Android 16s and 18 confirmed for Dragon Ball Z. And, and then we'll finish up with our question of the day. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we played this week. So, I, being the huge Sonic fan that I am, I picked up Sonic Mania. And, I can safely say Sonic Mania is the best Sonic game to come out in the last 15 years. It really is astounding what these guys have been able to capture. But it's also like the way the game was set up and designed is a really great way of returning to form. Because what it is Sonic Mania is essentially, it's a compilation game. So what they've done is that they've gone through all of what they consider the best 2D levels in the Sonic series as a whole. And they've put them into Sonic Mania, but there's an Act 1 and an Act 2. So Act 1 is the return of this classic level, and then Act 2 is the remix of the level.
Okay.
So you're getting a lot of classic stuff along with a remake of the classic stuff in a new and interesting way that brings in new mechanics. And there actually is a level that is completely new that is for the game itself. It's like basically they grabbed all the interesting mechanics from like the Game Boy Advance games, the classics like Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and they just put them all together in this amazing experience. And it's kind of amazing because this feels like the Sonic game I was waiting for the last like 10 years. You know, this feels like what Sonic 4 was supposed to be. And
so what's that?
Sonic 4 was a really poorly put together episodic game. And and the reason why you don't know what it is because it came out with very little fanfare, and a lot of people just complained about it because it was like, it wasn't what people wanted, you know? And it was like, it wasn't what people wanted, and it was also like, it felt like it didn't earn the title of Sonic 4, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this feels like Sonic 4 to me, right? And that's why I really, really enjoy it. And I want to give props because this game has one of the most hilarious Easter eggs I've seen in a long-ass time. And basically, so if you go back to all the way to one of our earlier podcasts, I remember I may have talked about the shitstorm that was the 25th anniversary event for Sonic, and how that was a disaster, right?
Just jog my memory.
Okay, so basically there was a 25th anniversary for Sonic. They announced a bunch of games. It's where Sonic Forces was announced, and it was where Sonic Mania was announced, right? And it was meant to be a celebration of the Sonic series' 25th birthday. The event was fine, but the stream was absolutely awful. There was a bunch of like technical errors, just really cringy, like, you know, people on stage, and it was just a disaster. It was very similar to the Konami E3 event, as far as cringe quality goes. But one of the biggest things that happened was that for the entirety of the stream, there was this really loud buzzing sound that was going through the audio of the stream, right? And people kept on complaining about it, right? So what they did is that there's a level in this game in which you break a TV and it turns to please stand by, screen. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And it plays the exact noise that the stream made. And I was so happy when I found that out, because that's basically them making fun of themselves, which is great in my opinion.
It's always good when you can laugh at yourself. I mean, we're going to do it anyway, so you might as well join in.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's very very like telling that that this is the first Sonic game that kind of pokes at itself a bit, the ridiculousness of like just the franchise as a whole a little bit. So I really like that. But that's really what I played this week. What about you, Fawaz?
Honestly, not a whole lot. It's been a busy week, and yeah, I could try to pull something out my ass and
Did you have some quality games of Overwatch?
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Because that Tanner is just poking fun at the fact that when this podcast started, I sounded like I wanted to hang myself. And it's because I'd been playing Overwatch for like 2 hours trying to get one win, and I couldn't get it because I was blessed with potatoes.
What's that one? Oh, that's that one Overwatch comic. It's like, I want you guys to let me down at my funeral. What was it? It's like, I want you all to...
So the mercy play is like that. If I die, I want my team to be at my funeral. I want my team to lower the coffin at my funeral so they can let me down
one last time. That's my favorite. That is my favorite Mercy comic. It is the best.
Yeah, pretty much. That was just like my favorite one was because I've been playing the 3v3 mode trying to get my last loot box, and then I play like 10 games and a lot of games. My sister, who's over now, I got to the point where she was like, maybe she should just stop playing. So I play like 10 games, and every game there's a Hanzo. Like immediately this bastard locks into Hanzo, the other idiot locks into Genji, then they go off, do their own thing, they start complaining, I need healing. Idiots. Anyway, the game starts and this guy picks Reinhardt, and then the other guy picks Junkrat. So I pick Ana. I'm like, okay, cool, we can make this work, right? So then the map starts, and this idiot charges straight into the middle of 3 people and gets murdered. And I'm like, what did you think was going to happen? just out of curiosity. How did you envision that playing out? I don't understand. Anyway, I could go on forever. So yeah.
Do you want to just get into the news, or?
Yeah, let's just get to some news. So, Monster Hunter trailer.
Yeah. Fun stuff. Monster Hunter trailer came out. This is time for me to get hyped for this game. They showed off a bunch of new monsters. There were some classics. The guy who jumps out of the mud and has the big flat top kind of head. That's a Balroth. So that's another return. And there was a couple new ones. There was that mix of an iguana and chameleon thing that looked new.
Okay.
And the fish, the mudfish guy is new.
How do you spell that? The Balroth?
Barroth.
Balroth, okay.
Balroth. So overall they showed off this really cool trailer. They showed off a bunch of new locations. They showed it looked like the desert. They showed off what looks like a little bit more of the jungle areas, and they're basically showing off all the new areas that you're going to be fighting monsters in. And yeah, really what I love is that they're really showing a lot of attention to detail, and the mechanics look really, really cool. This isn't really related to the trailer, but they did announce the Glide Mantle, which sounds awesome, especially since this game looks like it has the most vertical maps out of any Monster Hunter game. And what I mean by that is that usually Monster Hunter games, they don't have areas that go up very high vertically for the most part.
Okay.
Monster Hunter 4 and Generations was the first step into them making larger areas vertically, but the world looks like massive areas that are both large horizontally and vertically, so having an ability to fly around sounds like a perfect addition to the game. And if you pair that with the grappling mechanic that is in the game as well, then it's gonna be Titanfall 2. It's gonna be amazing because I'm gonna be gliding around, and then I'm just gonna hook onto a monster with my grapple hook, and it's gonna be freaking radical. So, sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, so it's gonna be a game that you speak very highly of, but you never play.
This is true. No, this is gonna be a game that I will probably play tons of because there is no PvP. Period. Monster Hunter is not a game about PvP. Monster Hunter is about a game about playing cooperatively and having fun. That is the main point of the game, realistically. The only thing that I'm really worried about is that, similar to Breath of the Wild, this is the first Monster Hunter game to have voice acting in it, and I don't know how bad it's going to be. I'm not even expecting it to be good. Like, I would be shocked if if Monster Hunter had good voice acting in it, because this is something I consistently, me and my friends say, Monster Hunter is a game that you will be mashing through those text options like crazy. Like more.
Sounds like that kind of game.
Yeah, this would be perfect for you, because usually I get mad when you skip dialogue in games because I'm like, but this is like, the dialogue doesn't really add a whole lot to the game experience that much. The writing's like not terrible. It's just sort of average, you know. Like, they like to make a couple puns, and there's a couple characters in the series that are actually kind of funny.
So do you think, so on a scale of 1 to the Ghost Stories dub, how bad do you think this is going to be?
The Ghost Stories dub. Now, the Ghost Stories dub is one of the best. Are you talking about the English dub, like the
English dub?
Okay, that is one of the best dubs ever done. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, are you sure? But he's like, run as if you're being chased by a big black guy. Huh, I guess he's not racist.
I guess he's not racist. What's the other line that it's just the worst. It's like, I can't date you because you're a rabbit, but because you're black. It's like, I can't fathom what the direction in all those scenes were. For those who don't know and are really, really confused, we're talking about an anime that got dubbed in English, and it was basically a joke dub. They threw out the script and just voiced whatever the hell they wanted to. And it's so good. It's so good. My favorite line, honestly, is when the cat is just staring at them, and there's this freeze frame because the animators just didn't give a shit, and then it cuts back to the cat, and he goes, "God, you are the ugliest 3 motherfuckers I have ever had to lay my eyes on. I can't wait for this bitch to kill you." Oh God!
Yeah, if you ever get the chance, I definitely recommend watching it. It's so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. Like, I didn't understand what the deal was when I was watching, but when my friend explained it to me, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a bit of an aside, but yes, Then you know what? We need a Monster Hunter Cross Ghost Stories game. That's what we need. That's what will save Capcom. That's what's gonna save Capcom. But yeah, looking cool. Things that don't look so cool. Crackdown 3 got delayed till 2018.
Yes. Now this is fine. You know, I'm always all for delays. You know, I'm like, you know, like, take your time, make the game. Take your time and wait till the game is ready. However, the reason why this confuses me is that Microsoft have released nothing this year. Like, they've actually released no games. It's probably like 1 or 2 that are crossing my mind. But in general, this has been like a completely dry year for Microsoft. It's. I mean, Scalebound got canceled.
Yep. What's the other game? The card game. Stardust.
Phantom Dust. That came out, you know, and then the full version. We haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just
Cuphead isn't even out.
Nope.
That is coming out supposedly this fall. But but you make a good point. It's like, where is Microsoft's big heavy hitters? You know, we haven't gotten a single one this year.
Honestly, you know, I was like that. Oh, Sony have a pretty tame Christmas, and you know they do to an extent, but like, it's only tame if, you know, your opponent, if your opposition has like crazy stuff. Now, the reason why this worries me is that, okay, here's the thing. Yes, there's still competition for Sony on the market, Nintendo and PC, but those aren't like direct competitions to Sony. Nintendo deals with Nintendo's people, you know, and then the PC market, you know, like it's similar, but it's not the same, right? So Microsoft was really Sony's biggest competition, and it's like they're drowning right now. They had a shit year last year. They had a good year last year. I take that back. And then I was like, okay, cool. Now they can like bounce back and come through strong this year. Then the year starts off with them canceling Scalebound. They released absolutely nothing for the first 6 months of the year. Then I'm like, okay, cool. E3 is going to be big, and then they come out E3 and they don't announce anything at all. They've got Sea of Thieves coming out, and that might be it.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves. I think Sea of Thieves is one of the only games right now that is a big Xbox title, and even then, it's like Sea of Thieves. I would not even really categorize as like the big AAA game. It's not like Sony's Uncharted, you know what I mean? I can't really categorize it into that. And that's the weird thing is that like Sony, when you think about it, this year especially, Sony came in swinging. We had Nier Automata, we had Persona 5,
we had Horizon,
we
had Gravity Rush 2.
And it was like they just went swinging right out of the gate, and we were thinking, well, they've obviously done most of their stuff in the first half, and then they're going to have nothing for the second half, and that's where Microsoft's going to come in and show their gun, show their strength, and nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, I'm really disappointed right now. Like, if you can't tell from the tone of my voice, I'm actually very disappointed in Microsoft right now. I expected better. Like, I feel like a disappointed parent. I was like, Microsoft are going to show us something. And, maybe, I don't know. Like, I'm running out of excuses. I'm like, maybe they're banking on the Xbox One X or S or whatever the new one is called. I can't remember. But I don't know, man.
Well,
It looks like these guys have lost the plot.
They've lost a lot because, well, the big thing is that, like, the one thing that Microsoft will always have the advantage with their console is that their huge support for backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
So what a lot of Microsoft fans are getting with the Xbox One and the Xbox One S, or what's the stupid name for the new one? It's the Xbox
X.
One SX. Oh God, that's so.
No, it's the Xbox One X.
It's the Xbox One, Xbox One, Xbox One, Xbox One, Xbox One. You see? Maybe they shouldn't have named it that. Oh, God damn it! I want to punch him. You should have stuck with Scorpio. I don't care if it's a weird name. I would have been fine with Scorpio. Anyway, honestly, the thing that the thing that they have at their moment that is their ace, I guess, is if you want to call it that, is their backwards compatibility. It's the fact that they're really pushing the Xbox family titles that you play, that the 360 games that you can play on your Xbox One and so on and so forth, right? And that's what they're really, really pushing, but we're not really seeing it like back in the day. It was like, oh man, I'm so bummed out I can't play Killer Instinct, right?
Yeah.
And back in the day it was like, oh man, I was so bummed out I couldn't play Titanfall 2, or sorry, not Titanfall 2, Titanfall 1 back in the day, right?
Killer Instinct, Titanfall, Sunset Overdrive. Remember that game?
Yeah.
Microsoft doesn't remember, obviously.
And it was like, and now we're at the point where it's like, yeah, but now granted, Crackdown 3 being delayed, I think, was probably a good thing because
the game looked like shit.
The game looked rough. The game looked rough during the E3 demo, and that's never a good thing. Like, that is never a good thing when the game looks rough at E3. And I mean, like, that's bad. So I understand them delaying it, but at the same time, it's like Microsoft really needs. You know what Microsoft needs to do is they need to push a. I know. Currently, their new IP, if you want to call it that they're pushing is Sea of Thieves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Microsoft needs another one. They need another big title that they can put on their roster of games, and they just don't really have that at the moment. Like, remember when Microsoft was pushing ReCore? Remember that?
Yes, I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, and I actually played a demo of that game, and it was really bad. Good job, Microsoft. You're really, really knocking them out of the park.
Like, I don't understand. I honestly don't understand what they're doing. I told my friends a little while back that I honestly think, I honestly thought that they were wrapping it up and getting ready to leave the console gaming market, because
it just doesn't seem like the
Their focus.
it just doesn't seem like they're committed.
Well, you know what the other problem is, and this was what I talked about right from the beginning when the Xbox One got announced, is that they were pushing this as an all-in-one. It's meant to be the all-in-one entertainment system. This is the thing you play your games on, you watch your movies, you stream your Netflix, you do this, you do that, and it's meant to be the all-in-one. So it's never really focused in one particular category. And that's the unfortunate thing about it, where it's like the PlayStation, like Nintendo. As much as some people like complain about Nintendo's practices, the Nintendo Switch is a gaming console first.
Yep.
And like that's, I think, part of the issue is that, and I think the other thing is that, like, you know, when you think about their big titles, a lot similar to we talked about this. Sony also had this problem as well. But Microsoft still has this problem too, where it's like a lot of the titles that they announce at E3 or their big events are still multi-platform.
Yep.
And that's an issue.
Yeah, man. They always do that stupid thing that's like, oh, you know, Xbox One console launch exclusive. And it's like, so is it exclusive or isn't it? No, it's not. No. Then I'm like they put so many titles on it, and yeah, Sony used to do this shit before, but thank God they've toned it down. It just makes you look pathetic because it's like that. Okay, you guys don't actually have any exclusives, so you're just trying to latch on to whatever.
Well, they know what they technically do. They have timed exclusives, and to me, a timed exclusive is not really an exclusive. And honestly,
I barely buy games at launch anymore.
Yeah,
so.
well, me too. I barely do. But honestly, I mostly find timed exclusives annoying on both sides. Because if it's DLC or whatnot, okay, whatever, that's one thing. But if the game itself is a timed exclusive, that sucks. It sucks in the sense where it's like, it's time, which means it's always been planned to be released for both, but you're gonna have to wait for a particular one, which is just annoying more than anything. And you don't really gain anything from it. The only thing you gain from it is the people who have to have it at launch, that will just buy it for the console that it can be bought for.
Yeah. No, it's just Microsoft, step your shit up.
Come on, guys, and I want to root for you. Like, competition is good. Competition, we've said this before, competition is good for the industry.
Yeah,
but
it's good for the industry, it's good for the consumer. Last time competition died, Sony tried to feed us a $600 console. So please, Microsoft, step your shit up.
Wait, was it $600 or what? I thought it was like $800.
No, it was $599 US.
Really? Because I thought it was, are we talking about the PS3?
Yeah. Google $599 US, and you see that.
Oh, it was $599 US, but that converted is more like $800 for Canada.
Well, I mean, back then the conversion wasn't okay. Actually, I don't know. I didn't live in Canada back then, so hey, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was really bad. But back then they were like, dude, your PS3 can use a printer. And then people were like, "Who the fuck?"
I love how you like back then it was really bad. As if $600 for an entertainment system is it like really bad?
No, $600 is really bad. But I just want to make sure we have our numbers, because I thought that number was way worse. I always, the printer thing will always stick with me, because that fascinates me so.
But yeah, Microsoft, please step it up. Step it up. And another company that needs to step it up actually is Bethesda, and you know they're releasing. They've revealed some DLC for Dishonored 2, the Death Outsider.
Yeah.
And it focuses on a character called Billy Lurk. Now, this trailer was really, really important for me for a very, very important reason.
Okay.
Because up until this point, I did not know what Billy Lurk's gender was.
Really?
I couldn't tell.
You really couldn't tell?
Like, she's got like really short hair and she's really skinny. I don't know. I couldn't tell.
Man, what is with you and traps, man?
What are the...
Never mind. Moving on.
Don't make it sound like I'm that guy, okay?
She was a girl the whole time? Naoto was a girl the whole time?
Naoto. Yeah, well, I mean, you can't blame me for Naoto.
I knew immediately that she was a girl. The moment she stepped on screen, I knew she was a girl.
I mean, in my defense, the fact that Kanji found her attractive threw me off, okay?
Okay, that's true. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. You have that. That Kanji, he's a rapscallion.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, so I think this is a girl, but Kanji is hitting on her, so I think it's a guy. But I don't know.
I don't know.
So yeah, but yeah. So honestly, we didn't actually get a lot of info about the DLC itself, but I was just like, hey, I finally know what Billy Lurk is.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I'm glad that they're supporting the game and they're continuing to support it. I don't know, like, it's kind of like. It's interesting, but it's also kind of like, from what people told me about Dishonored 2 is that, like, the game, it wasn't necessarily that it was bad, but it didn't really bring a whole lot new to the table.
It was uninspired. Most of Bethesda's output of late.
Yeah, like, that's a big problem I'm having with Bethesda right now. It's just, like, they need to get their muse back, because they've been not really hitting it out of the park lately with their games. I'm really hoping Wolfenstein is good. I really want Wolfenstein to be good, and it looks like it's going to be good.
One cool thing about the DLC that they've stated anyway is that there's a bunch of things you can do: investigate mysterious cults, infiltrate clandestine fight clubs. But the big one for me is you can organize a bank heist. Now, I love me some heists. That is like my favorite thing to do in video games. That was like the only redeeming quality of Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5, or the heists. I hated everything else about those games.
Right.
So I love me some heists. So this is it's pretty cool. But outside of that, I got nothing like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know this is completely unrelated, and I know I'm jumping on it right now, but we have to talk about this topic because we didn't talk about it in any of our podcasts. We need to talk about the shitstorm right now. That's fucking Wardor.
Wardor? Wait, what's going on? What's going on?
Shadows of War. I call it Wardor, but it's Shadows of Middle-earth, or the sequel. The Shadows of Middle-earth game.
Okay, yeah, because I generally just the game was announced and I was like, okay, cool. We'll talk about it on the podcast, and then we spoke about it on the podcast once. I was like, okay, cool, I'm done.
Okay, we need to talk about two things. Okay, one, and if we have to cut something, that's fine, whatever. One, they decided, well, we want Shelob in the game, right?
Yes,
we want Shelob in the game, but how can we integrate her into the plot in an interesting way? We're gonna make her a sexy woman. She's gonna have little sexy spiders climbing on her hand. And it's like, really, why couldn't it just been a spider? Why couldn't you just had the spider? Everything would have been fine. But no, you just gotta have the sexy lady with like the tight cloth. It's like Morrigan. And don't get me wrong, I like Morrigan from Dragon Age, but it's like that's not what I want with Shelob.
I'm actually looking up an image right now. All the images that came up are of a very, very nasty looking spider.
Yeah, that's the thing that's bothering me, is that Shelob is a nasty looking spider who's super cool because she's a nasty looking spider.
Oh yeah, I found it. Oh my.
You see what I mean?
Hey, maybe this is an old picture of her. And she let herself go in the years after Shadow
of Mordor. I just call it Wardor. I want to just call it Wardor because it sounds stupid, and I kind of like that. But that's not. But honestly, that on its own is really bad. But what's really bad is the other thing which a lot of people have been talking about, is that Warner
What?
Brothers, being the smart geniuses that they are, we talked about the collector's edition and how ridiculous that collector's edition is, right? On one of our other podcasts, right? Well, they decided to double down. They wanted to double down and make sure that this game was just completely fucked. And get ready for loot boxes.
Yes. It's funny. I heard about both of these pieces of news, but I heard about it and I was like, okay, cool, I'm done.
No, but I know you're done, but it's like there's something so bad about it because it rips orcs out that you're supposed to be getting with the Nemesis system, which was one of the coolest aspects of like the first game, and now it's integrated into this bullshit loot box system. And I am of the fact that I don't think there should be these types of loot box systems in single player games.
Wait. So, like, what are you getting from the loot box? Because it's a single player game.
You're getting upgrades. You're getting orcs that can join your army, and you're getting cosmetics, weapons, and stuff like that. So it's a mix of like gameplay stuff and cosmetic stuff.
They saw that money that Blizzard was making off of the Overwatch loot boxes, and they were like, "Gotta get me some of those."
Yeah.
Imagine.
Well, here's a comparison. Imagine if you were playing Overwatch and it was like you start out with Tracer, Widowmaker, and Hanzo, and those are your only characters you can choose, and you have to open up loot boxes to unlock the other characters. That's what this is. And it's hilarious. And the best part about it is that they had no shame because they live streamed this announcement. Like, they didn't even try to be subtle and like sneak it in at the last minute. They just had a live stream that went in depth. Oh yeah, we're gonna have loot boxes. Oh yeah, sure, you can have all this stuff. You can get this stuff. You can grind this stuff in game and get it, by not paying. But you can get stuff that would take you hours and seconds. And that is always a problem when games do that. Anyway, I know you're done with this topic, but I just had to bring that up because I just found that so, like, ridiculous.
Yeah, actually, I saw it, and it was one of the things I considered thinking about. I guess I just forgot about it by the time I started making the list. But, Warner Brothers, you stay losing, okay? Like, keep up the good work. You guys are you're right up there, man.
Yeah.
Give them a couple years and they'll be right up there with EA.
They're pretty close. I consider them in the top tier of shitbag companies, along with EA, Activision. Yeah, Warner Brothers is up there. And the you know what? Apparently, a lot of people get really annoyed is that Warner Brothers actually has a lot of decent games, but it's just their practices with DLC and what they do to those games is terrible.
It's absolutely awful.
It's awful. Anyway, let's talk about something more positive. Absolver had a multiplayer trailer.
Yeah, so this is like the online multiplayer. It's like a kung fu game. It's a martial arts game. Sorry, it's a pretty interesting game. It's you can play it. It's like hand-to-hand combat. So yeah, there is a trailer showing some stuff about the online multiplayer function. Most of it is your basic shit. You can go online and fight team battles. You can go into an arena, fight 1v1 battles, and all this other stuff. But one thing that they revealed that was actually pretty cool is that you can mentor players, and you can find a mentor. You can make people mentor you, and you can make people mentor you and whatever. You get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like it's meant to be like you can find other players who can mentor you and give you skills and bonuses and stuff like that. It's an interesting system. Like it is really interesting, and I can't think of many games that have done something like that before. Not off the top of my head, anyway.
I can't think of anything. So I'm really curious to see how. Sorry, I cut you off.
No. Keep going.
Okay. So,
all right.
Yeah, I can't think of, like I'm really interested to see to better see how they're going to implement this. But it's probably not going to be as exciting as it sounds. On paper, it's probably just going to be from a gameplay point of view. The only thing they mentioned is that when you're mentoring a student, because in Absolver you can learn new moves and stuff like that, new combos, and you can build up your collection of moves. If you're training under someone else, while you're training under them, you gain access to all the moves that they already have. So that's one gameplay element that it gives you. But yeah, me, like I'm a '90s kid. I watched all the like old school kung fu movies, martial arts movies. So I'm excited for this just because it reminds me of like the scene from Kill Bill. Well, she went to what's his name's place to go
the fucking I forget his name. It was the long guy with the weird beard.
Yeah, I want to say Paicho, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
I think that's close. Yeah,
Paicho is a board game from Avatar.
Yeah, because I heard that it was like that's the White Lotus.
Pai Ming, there we go.
Pai Ming, there we go. You're close.
Yeah, I got the first half right. So yeah.
I love a game where you just spend 2 hours getting your fucking ass kicked by an old man.
But yeah, man, like this is pretty cool. The game itself is pretty cool. I haven't read any reviews yet. Is it out?
I don't think it's out.
It's
no,
coming
it's
out
not.
at the end of this month.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it's unique. If nothing else, it's a very, very unique game. So I wish for the best. I'm hoping for the best, and I hope the game delivers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, honestly, it looks cool, and this is a Revolver Digital, I think.
No, it's being published by Devolver, but like it's being developed by Slow Clap.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I definitely like I like Devolver, and I haven't really seen a lot of Slow Clap's other games, but yeah, this seems like an interesting enough mechanic that I hope it succeeds for sure. But speaking of other cool shit, it's cool fighting stuff and senseis that teach you cool moves. We got fucking Dragon Ball to talk about. Holy shit, we got a bunch of characters got announced. Oh.
Yes. So, we got Android 16 and Android 18, and then we got Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta. So this is, it's a mixed bag for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was hoping for no duplicate characters, right? Maybe that was naive. But I was really, really hoping they didn't give us any duplicate characters. And then I was like, okay, cool, if we're going to get duplicates, then let's get the obvious ones. Let's get older Gohan and, maybe another Goku. Maybe Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Super Saiyan Blue Goku, right?
Yeah.
But then we get Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, which probably means we're also going to get older Gohan. And we might even get one more duplicate. Maybe like Kid Buu. So then,
I mean, if they do Gohan, they could get like younger Gohan and older Gohan, kind of act differently.
Yeah.
They fight differently, and like I would like, and I'm assuming that with that, obviously with that, like with Blue Vegeta, you just change the colors. like that's like literally like you just go into the character model and just slide the hue to a different color, and then we're done, guys. We can go home early. So,
the funny thing is that if Goku and Vegeta were just that, they were just palette swaps, I'd be less disappointed because it means that no development time
was
went
wasted.
into these characters. No development time was wasted on these characters, right? But the fact that they're probably going to be completely different characters, really, it disappoints me because that's two other people that aren't going to make it in now, because we got 2 extra versions of Goku and Vegeta. But it is what it is. Android 16 and 18 look pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
So 18 is... She's 18, but she gets access. She can call in 17 for some of her moves.
Right.
Now, there's a lot of people. I didn't realize 17 had this many fans. A lot of people are upset about this. They're like that. We want 17 to be his own character. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Even me, I was kind of like, I wasn't okay. Here's the thing: I didn't want too many androids. I didn't want too many like multiples of now get the whole 5.
I wanted the main 3. I wanted 16. I wanted 17. I wanted 18. I didn't care.
Honestly, I only wanted 18. I didn't care about the other two, to be completely honest.
No, I disagree. I like the other two a lot, especially 16. I really like 16 a lot.
Well, I mean, that is just my opinion.
Well, like, it's like, I understand that you'd, like, you know, you would only, like, hey, listen, you know, which is the best Android? I'm not going to fight you on who's the best Android, because the best Android is 18, period, right? But it's like, I liked what the other Androids brought. I like Android 16, he rips off his arms and he shoots that laser beam. I think that's pretty cool. And I love his dumb hairstyle.
Yeah, I mean, seeing 16 in game, he looks pretty cool. So, okay, we'll do 18 first. So, like, 18, we'll do 18. We'll talk about 18 first.
Look,
so
I know
18,
everyone's made that joke. Everyone's made that joke till, like, since the character was brought onto the show.
So 18, she's a primary character, but then like she can summon 17 for some of her moves. So she can call him out like an assist for some of her moves, and he operates like an assist. I was watching some gameplay, and she did a move, and he was coming on screen, then she got hit, and then he backed out, similar to the way assist in Marvel 3 work. He's also featured in some of her supers. The only one I know for a fact is that he's featured in her level 3. One really cool bit of fan service is that so her level 3, it's her and 17. They like beat the person up, knock him into the end, and then they both jump up and fireball him together, right? If she has Krillin on her team, he replaces 17 in her level 3.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, that is so adorable. That is so adorable.
Yes.
16, on the other hand, seems to be the grappler. He has a couple of command grabs. He has an anti-air command grab, a ground command grab. His Kai Blast and his fist, he shoots off his arms. So it's like a rocket punch type thing. So hey, I guess that's Sentinel for me. Yay.
The Marvel comparisons continue.
His level 3 is also interesting. So he has 2 level 3s. He has one where he detaches his arms and he does like a big blast and whatever. I'm not sure what the properties. It doesn't look like a command grab from what I've seen. However, he does have a command grab level 3. It's self-destruct and it's a one-shot. So it has like insane amounts of startup from what I've seen. Like it's really, really slow. It honestly just looks like a terrible move, like something that you're only gonna hit people with to meme them, right?
Yeah.
So it one shots the other person. However, it sets him to 1 HP after he's done it, with no time to tag out, because you know how the game, like there's the cutscenes and stuff. So you hit them, and then the stage gets destroyed, and then you're back to fighting. So there's no time to tag him out after. All in all, the move looks terrible. And personally, I always hate moves like this because they're either terrible or they're overpowered. You can't have a middle ground with a one shot in a fighting game. So I'd prefer if it was terrible than if it was good, obviously. But other than that,
like if it's for me, it's like if it's terrible, fine. Like if it's terrible viability wise, sure, but at least make it look cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. If you're gonna have a move that's mechanically terrible, I mean you really shouldn't, but whatever. Just make it look cool for me, specifically for me. For no one else, make it cool for me. Then let me see. That's really I haven't seen any of his assists. Then we finally got footage of Piccolo, Trunks, and Krillin. Sorry. One last thing about 16. Like I said, he looks like the grappler, but he also still has the teleports. He has the air dash. I haven't seen footage of him doing the homing dash, but I'll be very surprised if he doesn't have it. So hey, they did not make him. They didn't do the grappler mistake and make him just slow and lumbering like everybody else. Unlike everybody else, he actually looks like he's going to be a good character, a viable character. So that's cool. So then Krillin and Piccolo. Now Trunks, unfortunately, the gameplay I saw of Trunks didn't really didn't really show anything unique about him. Piccolo and Krillin, on the other hand, are interesting. So Krillin, first of all, he has the Sensu Beam ability, right? Right.
So how it works is it's a special move and it's his assist, right? He can only drop 3 Sensu Beams every game. The Sensu Beam heals 25% HP for whoever touches it. That's right, whoever touches it. So if the opponent hits the Sensu Beam, they'll gain 25% HP back.
Oh, that's awesome!
It gets better. So here's how it goes. He does one Sensu Beam, then he throws 3 rocks. I haven't seen the rocks, but I imagine they're not very useful. Then he throws a Sensu Beam, then he throws 3 rocks, then he throws his last Sensu Beam. You can only do 3 every game. I saw this one dude. He tried to do this cute thing. So he hits the first person with Android 16's level 3.
Right.
Insta kills them and sets him to 1 HP. Then he tries to call Krillin to do a Sensu Beam so he can pick it up, but like he gets killed, and then the opponent picks it up and they gain 75 HP.
Oh no.
Other than that, Krillin looks interesting. His Kai blasts are he can arc them, so he can like shoot them upwards, and then he has a Kai blast that he can shoot on the ground, and it launches him into the air, and then he still gains access to all his air moves, so he can still do however many jumps he has. I think he has 2, so he can still like triple jump. So he effectively has a triple jump. He can blast the ground and air dash, and the blast does damage around him. So it's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. Piccolo. Okay, so Piccolo has a special beam cannon. He can charge it up, right?
Yeah.
While he's charging up the special beam cannon, he can teleport, and the teleport does not cost meter.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
So yeah, I was watching this dude. He charged up the special beam cannon. He teleported in front, teleported behind, and teleported in front again, and then blasted the guy with it. It looked pretty cool. Now he can't. It doesn't look like he can combo off it, so it's not that big of a deal. But it's still early. It might be possible. We just haven't figured it out yet. He has this cool charged up beat blast that he does. It's like a little ball, and it's very slow moving, and it's homing. You can only have 2 on screen at once. Whenever he spawns a third one, the first one disappears. I was watching some gameplay, and what the Piccolo did was that he fired off the ball, and it's really slow moving, and then he just approached behind it, so kind of like an assist, kind of like an extra assist. And then the bull got hit, and he just combos right off of it. Finally, he has his grab, so he stretches his arm out and he pulls you in. I think it's a normal. I'm not sure yet, but from what I've seen, it looks like it's just a normal. Yeah. It's not like grab or anything.
I mean, it looks cool.
It looks cool, yeah.
No, because that's something weird. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, because that's something I find weird. Is that I always forgot that he had stretchy arms, because he never really used that much in the fights.
Yeah.
That's all I really have to say about that.
So yeah. And then finally, he appears to have some kind of meterless teleport. Now, from what I'm seeing in the footage, I think it's similar to Bang's teleport in BlazBlue, where it's a parry. He goes into a stance, and then if he parries something, he can teleport, and then he has a bunch of different directions he can go. But this is still early. We'll have more information. I'll have player information on our next podcast, because that podcast will be after Gamescom is done, and people have done proper
analyzing
research.
And research.
Yeah. Now, finally, we have no footage of Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta. However, what are they called? Namco confirmed that they are unlockable in game, but you're probably going to have to beat story mode or something like that. However, if you get a pre-order bonus to unlock early. So I'm guessing this all but confirmed that they're going to be. I mean, not that there was any doubt in my mind, but if there was any doubt, this all but confirmed that they're going to be completely different characters, because they wouldn't make clone characters pre-order bonuses.
I don't think they would.
And finally, in really, really positive news, we have a release date. Well, a release window, February 2018. February 2018 is when the game is slated to launch. If you pre-order, you get access to the open beta. Or maybe it's early access. Since it's an open beta, I assume everybody's going to get access to it. But whatever, we'll figure that out. And yeah, I'm excited.
I've been excited ever since this game got announced. This is the fighting game. This is the one that me and Fawaz will play together, and actually, this will be what Street Fighter V was supposed to be.
Don't say that. You're gonna jinx it.
No. Okay, wait. Knock on wood. There we go. Now we're good. But yeah, overall, really, really cool stuff from Dragon Ball. Cool stuff.
Yeah, and like I said, we're gonna have like way more info for you guys next week,
sure.
next podcast, because Gamescom is happening, and there's an up to date version of the game at Gamescom. There's a bunch of people. Maximilian, who's actually really good at the game, all things considered, he's really good at the game. He's going to be at Gamescom. He's already said that he's going to have more footage for us. So I'm really excited to find out more info. And
make sure to watch that clip of Maximilian with that amazing comeback. Because holy shit.
Yes, with Vegeta.
Yeah, it was, holy shit, that comeback was amazing.
Yeah, because there's still a lot of stuff we don't know, right? We still don't know we still don't know about the assists. We still don't know what Trunks' assist is, what Piccolo's assist is, what either of the androids' assists are. So there's still a lot of unknowns. So yeah, look forward to that. However, to wrap things up, we have a sorry, you
want me to say it? You're stealing my bit, Fawaz. You're stealing my bit. All right, we got a question from the day from the lovely J Streets.
Shout out to J Streets.
And he's asking us, when should you buff or when should you nerf in a video game?
This is a pretty straightforward question. So for me, this is me and Jason actually disagree on this a lot. But I'm of the slower approach, right? Because there's a lot of times where something seems really strong, For example, Android 16, that is grab, the one-shot grab, odds are it's going to seem really strong when the game launches, when nobody knows what the animation looks like, right? And then you're just like, oh, what does he do? Oh, wait a minute, my character is dead. It's going to seem really, really strong. This is an extreme example, obviously.
Right.
But then I'm willing to bet my last dollar that once people actually learn how to play this game, no one is ever going to get hit by that again, and it's just going to be for memeing, like insta kills in Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
Okay. So in general, I feel like you should wait, because there's a lot of times where some things they seem strong, and then people learn how to play the game, and there's something to be said. Like if you created a deep fighting game, a deep first-person shooter, if you created a video game with depth to it, the game you should let the game grow organically. Now, with that said, I do think there are certain situations where you have to draw the line and just deal with it.
You gotta deal with it.
Pull the band-aid off. Overwatch, when the game launched, McCree's found the hammer. It sounds like I'm kidding, but if they had not nerfed that, I wouldn't be playing Overwatch anymore. That ability actually just ruined the game for me, because not only was it, you have to learn there's a line between something being too strong and something being overpowered. I complain about defensive matrix a lot. I think it's a strong ability. I don't think it's overpowered. I think, it needs some tweaking. But if today Blizzard came out and were like, we're never touching defensive matrix, I'd be like, cool, I can live with this. I can learn to play around this. In Guilty Gear, Zato is really strong. I think he's a very strong character. I don't like if today they were like, we're never nerfing Zato, I'd be like, cool. If Blizzard said we're never nerfing McCree, I'd have sent this game back. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Because that Fan the Hammer was so... when something is so overpowered that it promotes incompetent play is when I draw the line, right?
Yeah.
I'll say one more thing and then I'll let you go because I feel like, I keep cutting you off, right? I was playing 76 against the McCree. This was back when Fan the Hammer was still overpowered, right? And I'm at the opposing ends of a hallway. This idiot sees me. Do you know what he starts doing?
Fanning the hammer.
No, he starts walking towards me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he could get within range, so he could roll, flashbang, fan the hammer, one-shot me, right? And I'm like, I'm not an idiot. I shot him and I killed him. So this guy had a magnum. He had a 6-shooter in his hand. Keep in mind, McCree's fall off was a lot less back then, right? So it's not like his long range his long range DPS was bad. But these people had been this character promoted such a lazy play style that this idiot saw me with Soldier 76 here. We're not talking Reinhardt. We're not talking about like a melee character. He saw me with Soldier 76. and he was like, okay, I'm gonna walk towards this guy, and then I'll roll in flashbang and one shot him. Excuse me. And I was like, no, screw you, shot him, and I asked if my Helix rocket tasted, and that was the end of that. But yeah. Like every now and then, I don't think that this is something you should do frequently. But let's say every 3 or 4 patches, you release something that is just batshit insane. Now, to be fair, Blizzard have done a pretty good job of that with Overwatch. And other than the Fan the Hammer and then the McSnipe change, where they removed McCree's fall off completely, in general, the issues have taken a while to develop.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my stance on buffing and nerfing. Okay, well, that's my stance on buffing. I'll get to nerfing later.
Well, with me, it's like when nerfing needs to be the best time you should be nerfing something is when you should. Obviously, I think you are right. You should let the change kind of, let it sit for a while, see how the audience, takes it in, see how the community takes it, and also see if it gets better or worse over like a couple weeks, right? Because people might be still getting used to it, and they might go, oh, this sucks, but then after 2 weeks, they've kind of gotten used to it and go, oh, okay, this is actually not that bad, right? So there is definitely that aspect. I think when nerfs should, if the community, if there's an ability, and we were talking about Fan the Hammer, right? If there is an ability that is actively ruining other people's experiences, that this is an ability that is so overused and so exploited by everyone that a game that starts out with a lot of variety in play is being limited to only this one thing, that's a problem. That's a problem, because it's like you can't promote. There's a famous term, is basically like, if you have a bunch of options, you have all these different options, people are going to still pick the one that guarantees them the win, right? So if something is overpowered, then they're still going to use that, and it's just going to make a bad experience for everyone. So you have to use tact as far as nerfing goes. Like, you have to be like, sometimes something comes out and it is so bad right away that you gotta rip that Band-Aid off. Like you said, you gotta do it fast before the damage really gets done, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes, you do have to take your time, because people will always overreact to changes, right? Always overreact. And usually, when a character gets changed, it's like, oh, why this sucks? It's like, why are you doing this to me? And then it's like, well, you have to let it sink for a while, I find. At least that's how I feel with nerfing. With buffing, it's more about, I would say, if we're talking about characters or MMOs or whatever, this is kind of a broad question to a certain extent. I feel like buffing is more, you need to do it when a character is just not fun to play, right? And this could come in multiple ways. It's not even that the character is bad, right? There is certainly that aspect to it. But a lot of this is, I'm going to say Symmetra as a good example. Symmetra wasn't really that fun to play, right? I don't think the thing that sucked about her the most was her running around throwing, basically taking a Dixie cup full of shields and throwing it on people in the beginning of the match. That wasn't fun. It wasn't fun to do, it wasn't a fun mechanic, and it just wasn't fun at all. So when they buffed her and gave her that relatively much more interesting shield, that was a good buff and made the character a lot more fun. And I actually play a lot more Symmetra now ever since the buff came. So I feel like buffs, obviously, yes, you should use your tact and say, is this character really underpowered, and not seeing any play at all? But it also should be like, is this character just not fun to play, right? And then maybe a buff might be a solution to that. But what do you think about for buffing anyway?
Yeah, for me, I feel like with buffing, 100%, you should be slower. You should be slower to. Okay, this is gonna be weird to say. So I feel like in general, I prefer buffing over nerfing, right? Because when a character is really strong, okay, sure, it's not fun to play against that character. The people that play that character enjoy that character, right?
Right.
So generally speaking, I'm like, okay, instead of nerfing this character, why not buff everybody else to bring them up to their level? Now, obviously, this is an ideal scenario, right?
Right.
And this is, like this. This isn't something you do all the time, but like when the character is strong, not broken. When the character is strong, I'm more in favor of buffing other characters to bring them up to their level. However, with that said, because with nerfing, you should be patient, but don't be too patient, because if something is just straight up ruining the experience of like a vast majority of your fan base, like look at the Bastion situation, right? Like people just weren't having fun. Period. So if something is like ruining the experience for like a vast majority of your fan base, then no, don't be patient. Nerf that shit, because at the end of the day, those are people that you play for. But like with buffing, you can be a little bit more patient, because sure, you have like the Bastion players who are like, but our character sucks, right? Yeah. But then there's 24 other characters in the game, and those people aren't struggling as much as this character is. So I feel like you should be a lot more patient with
Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry, I just had to mute my mic the second time. Hello, can you still hear me?
Yeah, no, I can still hear. Oh, you muted the sneeze. You could have just sneezed right into the mic, man. That's quality content.
Anyway, disgusting comments aside.
What do you mean, disgusting comment aside?
I feel like with buffing, you should be a little bit more patient. It's weird, because on one hand, I think you should be more patient with buffing, because you don't want to buff a character who people just didn't know how to play. When the game launched, people thought Genji wasn't great, and then it turned out he was completely broken. When the game launched, I'll never forget, when the game first launched, there were people that were telling me that they need to buff Zarya, the character that ended up needing like significant nerfs.
Yeah.
The character they nerfed like 4 times before she finally stopped being the best off tank in the game. People are telling me that they need to buff Zarya. They need to give her 500 HP. They need to increase the duration of her bubbles. Some idiots was talking about how they need to increase the duration of Zarya's bubbles, because she was too difficult to play. So yeah, that's the thing, right? There's that line you need to draw between, okay, is this character bad, or are people just bad, right?
And people haven't figured her out yet,
Yeah, and sometimes you can tell. There's characters who are just these characters are more straightforward than others, right? Winston is not an easy character to play, but Winston is a straightforward. His design is straightforward, right?
Right.
So if like people are struggling with Winston for a while, they're like, okay, cool, maybe we should buff his bubble, maybe reduce the cooldown a little bit, reduce the hit shot of his headbox, because he has the hit shot of his headbox.
Yeah.
The hitbox of his head.
The hitbox of his hitbox.
The hitbox of his head. So he actually feels like he has 500 HP and doesn't feel like he's made of paper, right?
Mache, yeah.
But then there's other characters where you're like, okay, this we designed this character to be difficult to play. This was our intention out the gate. So the fact that people are having issues with this character for now, we'll wait.
Yeah.
We'll wait. But in general, I would rather you had, using Overwatch as an example, I would rather we had 6 shit characters and 18 decent characters versus 18 decent characters and 6 overpowered ones.
Yeah. No, I can totally understand that. Because then you have characters that are just not... You have characters that are essentially not being played, and then you just essentially have 18 well-balanced characters. And then you slowly, over time, you buff those shit characters so that they join the relatively balanced characters.
Exactly. But if you have 6 overpowered characters, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. The remaining 18 don't matter. It doesn't matter how good the remaining 18 are. People are going to pick those 6. So yeah, I feel like that. I feel like that sums up my stance on buffing and nerfing. That is what you should aim for as a compromise. Because oh my god, I need to drink some water.
Jesus, man, you sound like you're dying. What's gonna die live on podcast?
For too long, especially, and in this heat, my throat is just completely dehydrated. Yeah. But yeah, because we're never gonna have a perfectly balanced game where all the heroes are balanced. So I feel like ideally that is what you should aim for. You should aim. Well, you should try to figure out the characters that are strong and the characters that are overpowered. Nerf the overpowered ones, keep the strong ones, because it's better. And then try to buff, buff the weaker ones, tweak them, but tweak them slightly.
Right. Honestly, like, I think my core answer to this is that whether it be buffing or nerfing, you have to. Unless it's an emergency, like unless it's something that you need to do immediately, I say that you should just take your time, and you should do them. You should let them kind of. I am always a fan of smaller buffs rather than giant buffs, or smaller nerfs rather than giant nerfs.
Yeah.
Because that's the sweet point for me, personally. But that's sort of like my take on it. I would rather see smaller nerfs and smaller buffs be added and just see how the people take it over a couple weeks, rather than just a large buff or nerf being implemented immediately when it shouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a great question, Jay Streets. And if you got a question for us, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section, and we'll make sure to answer it in the next podcast. And as always, this is your host, William Liberty, and...
Was Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time.